Hi, I'm Christina Fletcher, and I'm from Spiritually Aware Living. I wanted to pop in here today to just give a little bit of insight on a process that I call plugging in. Look, we live in a time where, well, there's a lot of head traffic and a lot of things happening, and there's so much information out there of different scattering information from all the different things that are happening in the world and all the different stresses out there, but also all of the different tools that you can use to take care of your mental health, your mindset, practices of mindfulness, different spiritual tools that you can pull out to do in order to find a sense of connection within yourself, in order to connect to your spiritual well-being, in order to feel grounded, in order to, it just goes on and on and on. And while I know that there's this plethora of information, I find that it's vitally important to bring it back to center and to make sure that you have a tool to help you connect to spirit, to connect to who you really are in as simple process as possible. I like to call this plugging in. And the reason why I call it plugging in is because something shifts within you when you start to see spirituality and spirit and the universe as electricity that flows through the walls. You know, imagine electricity flowing all around you. You take electricity for granted, most likely. You know that it's underneath the drywall in your house. You know that there are wires, but you don't necessarily need to know the hows or the whats or how to fix it. It's a question of it's always there, it's always present, and it's accessible. It's accessible. You don't need to overthink accessing it. You take a plug, you go to the outlet, you plug it in. That's it. To me, the universe, spirit, energy is exactly the same. It is always present. The universe always does have your back. The universe is always flowing love and energy to you. The question isn't whether it's present or if you have to do anything in order to make it present. Rather, the question is how you're going to put your plug in to that source of energy and allow it to flow effortlessly. It really means that when you start seeing it as plugging in, when you see spiritual energy as always accessible, when you realize that this is always a reality, this is always a resource for you, then suddenly you are allowed to relax. Self-care doesn't need to hit that long to-do list. It's really just a question of going, time to plug in. You don't need the long hour meditations. Although they're nice and they will put you in that higher frequency state or higher vibrational space, in order to access the spiritual resources that are available to you, you simply need to intentionally plug in. So, what does plugging in look like? It's actually it can be done on the go, basically. Like, this is what I specialize in, right? It's making sure that you can show up whole in yourself every single day, in all moments, that resource is there for you. And plugging in simply means, well, actually, a lot is done with that simple intention. The intention of, wait, I need to plug in. That there is power in intention. And the moment you actually stop in your tracks, stop the reaction of everything that's happening to you in your day, and instead shift and say, wait, I'm plugging in. That intention literally sends out that energy up to the universe, and it is so. Just as you don't have to set a lot of intention to taking the electrical plug on your device, on your toaster, when you know that you need to make toast, you don't overthink and go, now, how do I access the electricity to get to this toaster? You simply grab the plug and throw it in. It's the same thing. So literally just stopping in your tracks and setting the intention of, I need to plug in, shifts something. And you have the access to the resources that are flowing to you. But a couple of other things, because sometimes that actually feels oversimplified, and your brain might push up against that and be like, No, 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 no. Come on. We're talking about like spiritual connection. Like this is something that mystics puzzle over for centuries. This is, the deeper meanings of the universe. So, a couple of little things. All right. So, you set the intention of, okay, plugging in. I need to plug in. So here's the thing to understand, and for anyone who doesn't know my work, I am a spiritual alignment coach. I'm an energy healer. I work with energy with all of my clients and in all of my sessions and in all of my work and in all of my days. So within that, here is the thing to realize so that you can actually access that energy. So energy is flowing all around you, just like electricity. It is always present. It is always flowing. And with that, it is flowing from above you and flowing down through you. In energy work, it works through your chakras. It flows through all of your meridians. It flows around you as your aura. It flows through you within your energy system. And as it does that, it is literally intentionally flowing down through your feet down into the ground to ground you, to literally earth you, just like you would electricity, right? You are being grounded, earthed. You are a conduit of spiritual energy. That is what you are here for. So therefore, the energy is flowing all around you. It flows down through you. Here's a little trick to know when you're plugging in. Where attention goes, energy flows. Which basically means that just like where your attention goes, if your intention is to plug in, then that attention is where your energy flows, which means that you plug in when you set the intention of plugging in. But where attention goes, energy flows, and so often in swirling thoughts as you try to figure out how are you supposed to connect to your spiritual source, to your spirit guides, to your heart, to do this self-work, all of that energy can often get stuck in your head. So therefore, a simple thing you can do to plug in is focus on your feet to make sure that you are grounded. All right? And another way that you can do this too, if you want to have a physical application to plugging in, is you can actually simply put your hands on your heart, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and within that, remind yourself that you are plugging in. Simple, simple, simple tools. This does not need to be overcomplicated. It does not need to be these long processes. I am not going to sit here and tell you that those processes don't serve you well. Of course they do. Absolutely. It's important to do the healing work. It's important to do the deep dives. It's important to It enhances your life to connect to angels and your spirit guides and to do all of the ritual and different magical elements that life can offer you. But as a busy person who is on the go and who is craving a deeper experience of your life, shift your perspective to simply plugging in. You're going to find the rest takes place. The more you set the intention of plugging in, the more you're going to find that these things flow. And it just builds up momentum and builds up momentum and builds up momentum because where attention goes, energy flows. So, plugging in. The electricity current of spirit is yours for the plugging into. Okay. I hope this is a helpful perspective shift for you, and I hope that you can use this and really kind of playfully dip into how this affects your everyday. I am more than happy to talk to you more about this, so if you are interested in what I do and how I do find these tools and simple perspective shifts to help bring spirit into the everyday, feel free to pop over to my website, spirituallyawareliving.com. Also, feel free to check out my podcast, Showing Up Whole, on all of your streaming channels. Love and light.